Hi everyone, this is the news from Western Armenia, especially for you. The meeting marks 10 years of the constitution of Western Armenia. Villeurbanne, Shushi, the only chanter France could not fully cancel. Armenag Aprahamian. Baku calls the destruction of Armenian heritage legal. Armenian rights and global politics. May message. President Armenag Aprahamian. Shushi, unstable facts. Western Armenia at risk. Challenges of language loss. The genocide must not be forgotten or minimized. Conference in Constantinople on Armenian architects of the Ottoman Empire. May 9, 2026, a Zoom meeting marked the 10th anniversary of the Constitution of the Republic of Western Armenia. Officials highlighted its role as a foundation of national identity, indigenous rights, and state continuity. It was also described as a symbol of self-determination, justice, and historical memory. May 9 was noted as a day of victory and national struggle. Participants honored Armenian fighters and heroes, emphasizing that the constitution is based on international law and human rights. The meeting ended with a message of unity and peaceful state building. The friendship charter between Villeurbanne and Shushi is the key example of conflict between French state policy and local autonomy. Signed in 2015, it aimed to develop cooperation in culture, education, heritage, sports, and local governments. For years, it was not challenged. In 2019, under political and diplomatic pressure, French authorities tried to cancel it. However, the court ruled that the request came too late, so the charter itself was not directly annulled. Instead, only the mayor's refusals to cancel it was annulled, creating a unique legal situation. In 2021, the appeals court confirmed that the charter could no longer be directly cancelled due to missed deadlines. As a result, it remains in force in a limited but symbolic way. The case showed that the state acted late, the process was politically influenced, and the law was not applied automatically. Former Mayor Jean-Paul Brett strongly criticized the French government, accusing it of giving in to Azerbaijan pressure. Today, the charter still exists symbolically and was never fully eliminated. The 19th century Armenian Agatangeghos church in Shushi was heavily damaged during the 2020 war and later altered on the labor of restoration, violating international cultural protection standards, including UNESCO principles. These actions are seen not as multiculturalism, but as an attempt to erase Armenian identity and presence in the region. Recent international developments show that the Armenian issue remains important globally. It is closely linked to diplomacy, human rights, and geographical interest. President Armenag Aprahamian stated that Armenians are at a critical turning point and must realistically understand current political processes. He referred to European meetings involving about 40 countries and noted their importance for human rights and international law, including cases at the European Court of Human Rights concerning Armenians of Artsakh. He also stressed that countries have different positions, often driven by their own interest. A key point of the speech was criticism of realpolitik, which can ignore justice and historical truth. He emphasized that recognition of genocide is not enough without justice and accountability. Armenian statehood is under serious threat, and peace requires strong security and a strong state. He called for unity, national identity, and international development rather than relying only on external forces. The speech ended by highlighting May as a symbol of victory and resilience, and Shushi as a symbol of dignity and resistance. Director Georg Terghazarian spent 6 years creating this documentary using archives from Moscow, St. Petersburg, Tbilisi, and Yerevan. The idea began in 2019, and the film was updated over time due to major events. It premiered in Moscow and later in Yerevan. The film is historical and educational, covering Shushi's past from the Russian Empire to the early 20th century. It will be released in Armenian, Russian, and English. Western Armenian is facing serious challenges due to reduced use in families. Many parents choose other languages for practical reasons. Experts warn that losing a language also affects identity, culture, and community. According to Joshua Fishman's model, the home is the most important place for language transmission. If this stops, it is very hard to recover. In some regions, the language is still strong, while in others, it is declining. Specialists say multilingualism is an advantage, and the future of Western Armenian depends mainly on its use within families. Hovannes Kalajda writes that the genocide against Armenia should not be politicized, but also must never be presented as something neutral or minimized. He noted that recent political language has become softer due to efforts to normalize relations with Turkey. While peace is important, there is a clear limit. The significance of the genocide must not be reduced. April 24 should remain a day of remembrance and justice, not politics. He emphasized that the genocide is not just history, it shapes Armenian identity today. Peace is possible, but not at the cost of memory and dignity. On May 11, a conference will be held in Constantinople about Armenian architects, engineers, and the Amira class in Ottoman Empire. The keynote speaker is historian Onik Jamkochian, who studied at the Sorbonne and worked with leading scholars. He received a French Cultural Awards in 1993. Other speakers include Serkan Keçeci and Sadek Müfit Bile. The event highlights the importance of preserving cultural memory and sharing the legacy of Armenian contributions. It is open to the public with free entry. So this was all for today's news. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.